What I'm about to share with you today in this video is perhaps one of the best designer releases in your counter in 2025 to date. So if you want to know all about the newest Armani Privé CUIR NU, stick around, it's up next. Welcome back to another video. Forti here. If you want to make a great and lasting impression, smelling good is a great way to start. Today, of course, we're going to talk about the brand new. And to be quite honest with you, this is not a quote unquote first impression. It's more of a review because I've actually worn this fragrance as I traveled from Europe to the US over the last couple of weeks. I actually was able to find this at the duty-free shop. I actually took it for a wearing. So it is an unboxing because I just got this in the mail. So it is kind of like an unboxing first impression style video, but it is kind of like a review as well because I have worn this fragrance. And let me tell you guys, you are in for a doozy. You're in for a treat because I have to be honest with you, it's one of the best fragrances I put my nose on in 2025 when it comes to designer fragrances. Overall, one of the best releases of the year. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, and you're going to find out why right now. So let's start things off with presentation. Minimalist yet very chic presentation. Here you have the box, which has some patterns on the actual sleeve that surrounds the case itself where the bottle sits perfectly. You have a golden plate here that says CUIR NU by Armani Privé. Of course, if you translate to English, it's bare leather or naked leather. So it's like a very leathery kind of a scent profile that they're trying to give you here based on the name itself. It says 100 ml, 3.3. You have the batch code here etched on the actual box with batch code, your barcode, and all the ingredients and elements of the fragrance itself here. Once you open the actual box, or take off the saran wrap, I should say, you find the box. Like I said, the sleeve that surrounds the box itself. The box is magnetic, where the fragrance sits perfectly. Armani Privé, haute collection fragrances. And again, the bottle sits perfectly in there. Gorgeous presentation with this, off matte finish black and gold appointments. I do love this line, as I've talked about over the years, over the last 14 years with you guys, and shared many fragrances within Armani Privé Collection. Gold cap, gold atomizer, gold and black, like I said, matte finish black. Take it for a test drive here, which is, again, I've worn this before, so I'm going to spray my hand here. This is going to be an eau de parfum concentration, or an eau de parfum intense, as I like to call. And the smell is absolutely fantastic. If you do love leather as a note to begin with, you're going to be in love with this fragrance because right off the bat, it's going to be classed as a sweet, spicy, ambery leather. So it is a leather fragrance profile, but it's embellished by this really gorgeous amber, sweet, coffee kind of a note. It opens up with this cardamom and coffee, so it's a very sweet and spicy, creamy kind of a coffee nuance, almost like a macchiato, like a creamy, slightly caramel drizzle kind of a coffee drink that you're going to be greeted with. The leather is going to be present from beginning to end. Like I said, I've worn this fragrance for a full wearing, and it's going to be that gorgeous, smooth, supple, suede leather-like that's going to surround the composition from the very beginning, as soon as you spray it, all the way into the dry down. The only thing here is that sweetness of the caramel drizzle along with that coffee nuance and the spiciness of the cardamom will tone down and smooth off as the fragrance develops on skin. By the way, this is going to be available in two sizes. The size I'm sharing here with you in this video is the 100 ml, which retails for $350 USD. You do have a low 200 USD that's going to be the 50 ml, which is going to also be available, especially if you go through the Armani website itself. But I think at most retail points of sale that carries Armani Privé will mostly have the 100 ml, which is the one you've seen here in this video. Of course, sticker and batch code at the bottom of the bottle itself, which will match again the box as I showed you before. Now, the fragrance has a semi-floral kind of undertone, given by the note of damask rose. There is a rosy kind of a floaty floral aspect to the fragrance. It's not overly floral. Also, besides the leather, I get a touch of oud, which is not really, mentioned here as a note, but there is a rose oud combination, especially again on my skin here as the fragrance, not so much on the taster strip. It's going to remain very, beautifully supple leather here with the sweet coffee nuances, which is again the opening. But on skin, you will get that inflection of the oud, kind of a, woody facet along with that rose oud combination. And again, with everything else I talked about, the sweetness, the cardamom, the spiciness, the coffee note, the creaminess, along with the oud rose, and of course, the leather, nuances. It smells really, really nice. I think from the first impression standpoint, when you smell this at a store, you're going to love it. Again, I think it's one of the best releases of the year so far, especially if you already love leathers to begin with. They're really nice coffee, spice, and creamy inflection here is just absolutely amazing. It takes it to the next level. Again, amazing smelling scent. As the fragrance develops, you do get that sweetness with the ambery combination that it has along with tonka beans. So it's going to be rather, not overly sweet, but a rather sweet leaning scent. So if you do already enjoy sweeter fragrances or sweet-like scents, not really gourmand, but really with a nice sweet inflection, this will have the amber tonka bean sweetness from beginning to end, especially from the heart into the dry down. That sweetness gets amplified on skin. There is laudanum on the base of this fragrance, which adds a sweet, balsamic, rich, resinous feel to the scent, which I love, really giving this really giving this fragrance a really standout kind of a feel, niche-like, exoticness, uniqueness feel to the scent, that balsamic, rich, resinous feel that you get with the labdanum along with amber and the tonka really takes it to the next level. That really nice trifecta takes the scent to the next level. It's a really nice one. To give you an example of what this reminds me of, it doesn't really remind me of anything, but if you do like the leather style that you'll get with, let's say, ombre leather from Tom Ford, you're gonna get that style of leather here, but although not gonna be, sharp or stringent, it's gonna be rather sweet, smooth, creamy, along with that coffee nuance that it has. Now that creamy coffee, sweet macchiato nuance that starts off the fragrance, starts to transition more into a green coffee bean kind of a feel as the fragrance gets into this labdanum rich resinous feel in the dry down phase. So the coffee here is not a really photorealistic smell of roasted coffee beans per se. It starts off more of like almost gourmand macchiato feel, but it dries down into this sweet and spicy green coffee nuance, if you will. But the leather is the star player of the fragrance, of course, along with the spiciness that I talked about and that sweet ambery tonka labdanum trifecta that you get at the dry down phase. Overall performance was quite good with this fragrance. We're talking about 7 to 8 hours on skin. If you spray your clothes, 8 to 10, so not bad. More of a, higher to above average performance on longevity. Projection is going to push real nice arm's length for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And what I love about this one is the sillage in particular. If you do spray your clothes, if you do go 4 to 6 sprayers, you're going to get a tremendous sillage with this fragrance. It's going to leave a really nice trail. People will perceive the way you smell. And let me tell you, when it comes to the quote-unquote compliment factor, this is one of those more compliment leaning type scents. People are going to love the way you smell and they're going to ask you, what are you wearing? You smell really good. I got some good feedback in the airport from people saying, wow, you smell really good at the check-in, the person that was sitting next to me. So it is one of those that are going to get people asking, what are you wearing, especially if you dress the part and you very presentable, very approachable. To check those boxes, this is going to be one of those level up type scents. Best season suited for CUIR NU. I have to be honest with you, this is going to be more and by the way, this is very androgynous. It's one of those fragrances that sits right in the middle. It has tendencies and nuances and inflections that could be more feminine leaning, such as the rose that I talked about. And it has notes that are very familiar and very approachable by both or anybody. So I think very gender-free, as I said before. Best season suited for this, I think spring and fall. Winter, yeah, you have to go a little heavier on the sprayers, but it could be very well, suited for winter as well. And summertime, if you're in temperature control environments, if you can pull it off, if it's going to be outdoors, anywhere above 80 to 85 Fahrenheit, 30 plus Celsius, I think this can be cloying because it is, again, on the heavier, spicier, leathery type of a profile. So I think best suited for cooler seasons and cooler weather for sure. Who would love to wear this? Anybody that appreciates leather scents, sweet, spicy leathers will love the scent. It's that simple. As I said before, as I stated in the beginning of the video, one of the best releases of the year so far. Expect to see this back again on the channel on different, top lists, perhaps my top winter coming up, and 100% will be featured in my top favorite releases of the year so far because it's that simple. It's a freaking good scent. Now, $350 USD for retail. A little bit on the steeper side. You might want to wait to find this at your favorite discounters. Of course, fragflax.com should have this in stock quite soon. In the meantime, if you want to try it before you buy it, head over to perfume.com, use my code MAX15, check out the deals tab to save even more. With my code, you'll get, discounts on top of discounts. And of course, you can try brand new releases just like this one. Guys, thank you so much for your support. If you do appreciate the channel, don't forget to show your support by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel if you haven't already, and hitting that bell so you get these videos straight into your feed. Thank you so much, guys. Smell great. See you in the next one. Take care.